So it was right here in this very parking lot at Mississippi State University, go Bulldogs, that Cape and Hannah had that long and protracted hug that I know meant so much to Hannah and probably meant something to Cape too, but of course Cape's a little bit more reserved with her emotions, and it's interesting how people are when it comes to showing sentiment or emotion. You know, men, especially in this day and time, we've been taught that if you cry or if you show any sort of fondness or affection that you're somehow weak. And you know, that phenomenon is not just limited to men. Women more and more often are also being programmed to think or to believe or to act out some ability to go it alone, to be free from the encumbrances of silly notions like love and fondness and affection. And you know what, that's just a tragedy, because clearly we are taught that Jesus said the greatest commandment is to love God. The second greatest is like the first, to love your neighbor. And how can we show love to a neighbor if we don't show love, if we don't show emotion? And so today, I hope as you read through the devotional today, that what you saw was Hannah being intentional. She knew that, you know what, Cape's preference probably is not to give that hug out here in this big parking lot where everybody can see. Her dorm, by the way, is just right over there. And probably Cape's comfort zone was, and maybe this is my doing, maybe I've taught her to be this way, probably Cape's comfort zone was like, hey, see you later, love you, bye, mean it. But Hannah was intentional. And in her intentionality, she embraced Cape, and because Hannah was intentional, Cape responded. And so let me just ask you, are you being intentional in letting other people know how you feel? You know, I firmly believe we have a number of shortcomings in our society, but one that troubles me is the fact that we want to wait till somebody dies to be intentional about telling what we think about them. Now, I want to caution you, I don't mean, you know, if I put your son in jail, I'm not asking you to call me and be intentional about telling me what a jerk you think I am. On the contrary, I'm challenging you to be intentional about just picking up the phone and calling somebody and say, I just want you to know how much you mean to me. I just want you to know I love you. I have this great friend, his name's Claude, and Claude is old as dirt. I don't know that Claude was there when Noah built the ark, but it would not shock me if he was. Claude and I, we try to go have breakfast once a week. And Claude came up, he's part of the greatest generation. He came up in that crop of men who were taught not to show emotion. And every time I get up to leave him, I look at him and I say, I love you, old man. And it makes him so uncomfortable. But as time has progressed through the years, and I don't know, I've lost count of how many years we've been having breakfast once a week, but as time has progressed, he slowly transformed into saying, at first it was, I know you do. And then it was, well, you know I do. And now it's, I love you too. And so I just want to challenge you to be intentional. Tell people how you feel about them now. Let people know where your heart is. You know, one of the things that is, I think, vitally important for us as Christians is that we show love. You know, it's not infrequent that I look on social media and I see somebody who I know professes Christianity as their faith, and they wear it as their life's mission, but on social media they are ripping somebody apart. And it's troublesome because there's somebody out there that's all they see of that person's faith. And so what a disaster it is for us to withhold our intentionality in how we feel about other people. And I just wonder, how many people do you question? I don't even know if that person really likes me. I don't even know if that person wants to talk to me. You know why? Because they've never been intentional about telling you. Now, certainly some people you just know. You know by their actions. But there are plenty of people in our lives that we don't see daily, that we don't see all the time. And it's good for us to affirm to them how we care and love and feel about them. And so trust that if you're intentional, good fruit will grow. You know, as we said goodbye to Cape here in this parking lot, there was a huge element of trust. We had spent all these years preparing her for this day that she would leave the protection of our fold and we would release her to the world. And let me tell you, there's 40-something thousand students that go to school here. That dorm that she lives in is probably as big as my entire high school campus. And so we were trusting as we let go of her that all of the things that we had done, all of the seeds that we had planted would grow good fruit. And it's something you'll hear over and over again in this devotional, but it applies so often, not just in how we raise our children, but in life. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it. Train up a relationship in the way that God would have us to train up a relationship, and as it progresses, we'll see good fruit. And so trust that as you invest in somebody, as you reveal yourself, make yourself vulnerable, and I'm not talking about a romantic relationship. I'm just talking about two men who sit on the porch together. It's okay to let your guard down sometimes. I'm talking about two women who sit and drink coffee together. It is okay for the world that you live in to not be perfect and for you to need somebody else. Trust that if you'll be intentional in letting people know how you love them, that when it's time for you to be intentional and let people know how you need them, that God's going to grow good fruit out of that trust. Because after all, it's not me that grows the fruit. It's not you or you that grows the good fruit. It's Him. And if we don't trust Him to do good works in our lives and through us, then do we trust Him at all? Romans chapter 8 says, for all things come together for the goodness and the glory of God. And I do believe, that those relationships that you're building, if you'll trust in Him, that it'll come together for His goodness and His glory. And what a beautiful thing that is. I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday. I've been here, you can't see it, but there's a trailer here and a truck here, and I've been loading up all of my beautiful daughter's stuff. And we're headed home for the summer, and we're excited about it. And so I hope that today you load up some stuff, whatever it might be, and I hope you're excited about it. And I hope that at the end of the day, you feel like you've had a great day too. I love y'all. Take care, because it's Sunday morning. And don't forget to go to shepherdingoutdoors.com and see all about the Shepherding Outdoors world and all about this ministry, this thing we call Shepherding Outdoors. And don't forget to go, if you don't already have the It's Sunday Morning devotional, don't forget to go to shepherdingbook.com, because you can order yours there today. All right, thanks guys. Have a great day.